Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Jason Kiesling, and today I wanted to talk about pad sounds. So this is the section for my latest single, Particle Accelerator, and it sounds like this. And underneath all of that are these pads. And if you open this up, what I am using here is a free wavetable synth called Vital. And when I'm creating pads, I want it to sound like it is flowing and morphing and evolving, and much like clouds or waves or something that is this amorphous blob underneath everything. I don't like to use just static sounds. I want it to have character and movement. And so here's how I accomplish this. I have 3 oscillators here, and I'm gonna turn off everything except for oscillator 1 to start with. And I'm gonna turn off the reverb that I have on this. We'll get to that later. So this first oscillator here, I have an LFO, 2 LFOs on this, and the first one is adjusting this level here. And you can see that little green tail, that's the level coming up and down. And I can make that faster or slower, make it really fast, make it really slow. And I had this somewhere around 3, so we'll put this there. And then you'll also see that this wave is also rippling. It's moving, and the reason for that is I have these shapes, and you can create whatever shape you want in here. That's where the fun comes. And then I have another keyframe over here where you can see the shape has changed. And if in between these, it kind of morphs between these 2 shapes. And I have that LFO altering this. I could add others in here as well. So say I wanted a little shape. I can draw in and let's just see what this does. So now I have these. I can change how much of it's going across, how fast, and you can see I have a slow attack, not a lot of release here. And then I have this filter on here, which I have a randomizer set to. So there's this low pass filter that's opening up at random intervals, so you're getting more and less high end. And so already with just 1 oscillator, I have quite a bit of movement going on here. And then when I add a second oscillator, I have the same thing. I have this level, and I have it altering this waveform with this LFO. And you can see I have this moving quite a bit slower than the first one. The first one was around 3 seconds. This one's around 7 seconds. And you can also set it to 8th note, 16th note, something more specific if you wanted. But as a result, you can see like these volumes, that one was going down while this one was still going up. They're moving at different intervals. So relative to each other, the swells of volume are always different. These 2 tracks, sometimes they're both moving somewhat in unison. Sometimes one's getting quieter while the other's getting louder. Sometimes the other's getting louder while the other's getting quieter. So think kind of like waves, how waves are always moving up and down, but not really in sync with each other. And that's the effect I'm going for here, is sometimes one of these will be a little bit more present than the other. And they're also individually moving. And then I have this filter, another low pass filter. I have this one with a split stereo. So you can see there's a left and right channel, and they're both randomized. So they're moving just slightly out of sync with each other. So the left and right side are doing slightly different things. And then I bring in my third. This is down an octave, and this one I have an LFO modulating the wavetable, and then also this unison. And then final thing I have here is some pink noise. And this pink noise is pretty much inaudible, but I have an LFO adjusting the volume so that at the top of this peak, it just barely pokes through. So you have this pink kind of swelling into the sound and out. And overall, it just creates this ebb and flow to the whole thing, and it's constantly changing and evolving. And if you listen to the stem of my pad in two different spots, they would always sound different because there's so much randomization and factors that I have going here that are just going to make the sound constantly changing. And then on top of that, I add this Valhalla shimmer, and this is adding these nice octaves. It's kind of making everything feel more together and feel more like a big pad sound. And to me, this sounds beautiful. I love making entire songs just out of creating different modulations and movements in these synths. And I'm sure I have some effects in here as well. It looks like I have a chorus, a compressor, delay, EQ, reverb. But overall, it's these LFOs and this movement that gives the pad the character that I wanted. So I hope you found this helpful. There's many great tutorials out there on YouTube over Vital and just general pad sounds. Signs of Life has some great stuff. Venus Theory is another great channel. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, and I hope you've enjoyed the new single particle accelerator. Thanks for watching.